It was a long day for federal lawmakers at the Nigerian Senate as they resumed screening of President Tinubu's ministers designate. 23 nominees have now been screened so far, with 5 more still waiting to have their day before the Hallowed Chamber. Among the ministers designate screened on Tuesday is the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru El-Rufai, the Senate's deputy majority leader, David Umahi, finance expert Olawale Edu, and others. National Assembly correspondent Tijesu Adewuye has details.
It is day 2 of the ministerial screening at the Nigerian Senate. After considering a motion on the free circulation of petroleum products, especially to border communities, the Senate suspended its rules to admit visitors into the chamber. The mace is lowered to indicate the dissolution of plenary into the committee of a whole. As it is the tradition of the Senate, the nominees are ushered in by the special advisor to the President on National Assembly matters. Each nominee took the stand and responded to questions with regards to national security, economic development, and how they hope to collectively achieve Mr. President's renewed hope agenda.
President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is committed to ensuring that Nigeria has stable and reliable electricity supply. Because without electricity, industrialization is a pipe dream. Without electricity, even agriculture today is not a viable proposition. So he's committed to that, and he has asked me to work with him to address these problems. And I will do my best to do so.
Your Excellency, you did raise the issue of the Consolidated Revenue Fund. You did raise the issue of adherence to the Constitution. His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a Democrat. He is someone that believes in federalism. He believes in true fiscal federalism. He believes in the rule of law. And so it is my belief that he would not countenance or knowingly spend or authorize to be spent funds that have not been duly appropriated by this august body and others who are so authorized to do.
An offtake, if government has an industry, which is the secondary economy, if you have an industry that is taking off the products, more people will go into agriculture, and our youths will no longer be idle.
The Senate hopes to complete this process in good time to allow President Bola Tinubu constitute his federal cabinet and commence the execution and implementation of policies, plans, and programs of government. Tijesu Adewuye, TVC News, Abuja.
The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria has come up again with yet another warning. This time it says the rise in the price of crude and foreign exchange may lead to a further hike in the price of petrol. Ipman spoke at the interface with the ADA Committee on Fuel Subsidy Removal. National Assembly correspondent Joke Adisa was there.
Government's removal of subsidy on petrol has sparked several conversations in the last 2 months. Beyond the talks, the impact of the policy is being felt by the rich and the poor. Government has announced a number of measures it believes will alleviate the suffering of the people. But the House of Representatives set up this committee to investigate the latest increase in the price of petrol by over 300% and recommend ways of cushioning the impact of the subsidy removal on the people.
Statistics shows that Nigerians spend an average of 80% of their incomes in food alone. This is why we fear that this recent increase will further push Nigerians deeper below the poverty line.
Ipman president speaks on the volatility of the price of petrol, especially with an anticipated rise in the price of crude as well as foreign exchange. The association recommends a transition from petrol to compressed natural gas, CNG. Ipman highlights lower cost, reduced emissions, and improved fuel efficiency as some of the advantages of the CNG.
In our research, we have done our numbers to see that this is the way to go now. You're talking about the hazardness in gas, it's not in CNG. It's lighter than air.
It will save Nigerians 2 billion naira every day, or 730 billion naira every year, just by transitioning 10% of the petrol we consume today to natural gas.
The legislators asked probing questions to better understand the proposed alternative to petrol.
It must be a conscious effort for us to look at gas development, gas gathering projects, to gather all these gases that are fled in different locations.
At the end of the meeting, the committee says there's need for government to abide strictly with the Petroleum Industry Act.
Granting more licenses, more opportunities to suppliers to bring in fuel is also an alternative we can look at.
The committee is also to meet with the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Central Bank of Nigeria, and the Nigeria Labour Congress in the course of its assignment. Joke Edsa, TVC News, Abuja.